All right, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Tellman Knudson, and I'm the founder of Get Shit Done. And this is the Get Shit Done Show, episode 13, Monday, January 13th, 2005. And I'm currently flying solo this morning, though it's possible that Eric will join us today. He had a minor family emergency he had to attend to. I think everything's okay. Just kind of, he had something he had to take care of. So all good. Today, we are going to focus on wantrepreneurs versus entrepreneurs. Which one are you? Are you in the camp you want to be in? Do you want to go into a different camp? What's the story? What's the deal? What's the difference? What keeps people stuck in wantrepreneur land when they want to become an entrepreneur? All of these are very good questions to ask, and they're really worth investigating and digging deep on. So I'm going to talk with you here today about questions that often come up when I'm talking with clients, whether they are wanting to start a business, whether they have a successful business, whether they used to have a successful business and they crashed and they're trying to dust themselves off and get back up again. Whatever happens to be the case, lots of people bump up against this, right? And so that's a big thing. However, today we're going to start as usual with a little positive focus. What am I happy about? I'll tell you what, last night, I went, actually it was early this morning. I went outside to get a load of wood for the wood stove, and the moon, I think it was almost full. The sky was completely clear. It was, 5:30 in the morning, and it was cold. Everything was frozen. It was quiet, and it was absolutely, the sky was absolutely beautiful. And it's one of the great things about living in Vermont is it's cold in the winter. You go outside, and it reminds you that you're alive. It reminds you that you're alive. So that was a really, really nice moment. Got a fire going, and then did some yoga, and so that a really, really good way to start the day. And one thing that I'm looking forward to is later today it's Monday, and on Mondays we do our Get Shit Done work parties with our Get Shit Done community. And if you're not already a member of the Get Shit Done community, I urge you to join us at school. You can go to school.com, that's school with a K, SKOOL.com/get-shit-done/about. And you can join our school community for a 7-day trial. I think you'll love it. And at noon Eastern, we do our Get Shit Done work parties. And the work party is a critical element in the Get Shit Done process. It's a cornerstone. I discovered work parties for myself a long time ago. I have a hard time, even with all my hypnosis training and exercise and eating well and supplements and all the other various things that I've tried, I still have a hard time staying focused for extended periods of time, working in my own little bubble, doing the important tasks that aren't very exciting, right? Doing the boring stuff is really hard for me. And I've discovered it's really hard for a lot of entrepreneurs. And so one of the coping mechanisms that I developed are work parties. And I've been a virtual business owner since 2003. I went online really full force, and between 2003 and 2004, I stopped working in my local hypnosis office just to completely explore the wonderful world of online entrepreneurship. And so I've been working from home that whole time, and I've been a little bit involved in a couple of co-working spaces, but not really. I generally find a place in my home to work and set up a desk, and that's where I spend a lot of my work hours. And so I get lost in thought easily. I go down rabbit holes. I go down idea trains that are great, good for thinking, but they aren't necessarily practical, implementable, not necessarily immediately implementable by me. They're also distractions from my current stuff that's going on. So what I discovered was that I do my best work with other people. And so I do my best thinking, having a conversation with a like-minded peer, and I come up with my best ideas, and am able to talk things through in real time with someone who can keep up. I love that, right? And then and ideally somebody that I have to try to keep up with, right? And then the in terms of doing the work, like I'm willing to do any work. Like I'm willing to work pretty hard and do whatever. But there are absolutely a long list of things that I'll procrastinate on in favor of doing something more fun, given the chance. And so the way I circumvent that problem and that tendency is to schedule in time to do the work with someone. Okay. And so, you may or may not. So I'm a lifelong, hopefully, so far, lifelong long distance runner. I started running in ninth grade. Had a crazy story about that when I was a kid, because I had kind of deformed, twisted legs, and my legs bent back around straight my first season running. And it was kind of like a medical miracle kind of situation. And um, running really changed my life. It really gave me something to hold on to in high school and focus on and get really good at. And I ended up becoming one of the fastest runners in the state. And then went on to run nationally in college. And now I'm 47, 48 later this week. And I love running. It's my one real sport that I'm super stoked about, and I love to do it. Um, I've only found two ways in my life so far to run every day. When I was a kid, I dreamt of being an adult and having a life and a way that I could really be focused on running every single day and have that be my primary focus. I remember like literally having a dream about it that I remember when I was a kid. And it involved an English muffin and putting peanut butter on the English muffin and eating it and going out for a run in the woods and like living in a little log cabin somewhere. And so I like it. It's a great thing. And it's very meaningful. It's important to me. And it's also meaningful to like my ego and my backstory, right? Who I think I am. And so uh but left up to my own devices, I won't run every day, right? I'll run when I feel like it. And the only way that I've discovered that I can run consistently is to have a running partner or a running team, not a running group, but a running team. So a running partner that I meet with regularly and go for runs with on a consistent schedule where we both agree and we both show up. And it can be more than two, me and one partner. It could be right now I have a two-person. So there are three of us that run every Sunday right now. And they're both longtime friends. And so we get together usually on Sundays and run together. And I've had a running partner at various frequencies for like 8+ years. His name's Ivan. He's a local guy. I've known him forever. We run a lot, and Ivan's great. Super consistent. He shows up consistently. We for quite a long time we would run 3, sometimes 4 times a week together. Right now we're running once a week together, and it's all good. Like that's our schedule, and I show up consistently. He shows up consistently. Our third running partner shows up consistently, and so it's like it's cool. I don't know if I would consistently run on Sundays at the same time for, months on end if it weren't for that. The other hack that works for me to literally run every day is something like 75 hard. And I'm on 75 hard right now. I actually love it. Like I get so much more done in my life when I'm using 75 hard as a framework, but it also takes up hours every single day, right? One of the things is you have to exercise twice a day, 45 minutes each time minimum. One of those times has to be outside. And so I usually run every day and I do yoga every day to stretch from all the running, and work on my core and all of my other like various weak areas of my body. And for me, that's a really good combination right now. So point being that we really, really, really want to focus on moving forward and getting shit done one way or the other. And what I want to share with you today is the difference between wantrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. Okay, the difference between wantrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. And so we have a little survey inside of our Get Shit Done community. We're calling it the productivity cult for entrepreneurs. And survey asks, are you a wantrepreneur? Are you a solopreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a serial entrepreneur? Are you a business owner? What's your deal? And we have a lot of wantrepreneurs, we have a lot of solopreneurs, and then we have some scattering percentages of the others. And so what I'm finding is that, especially within the framework of Get Shit Done, is that I'm getting a lot of hypnosis clients lately, a lot of one-on-one sessions where people are wanting to overcome procrastination, where they're struggling with overwhelm, lack of focus, lack of clarity, lack of purpose, and wanting to be more on point, more productive, less fearful, right? They want to get shit done. And that there's one key characteristic that is the difference between a wantrepreneur, or someone who always says they're starting from scratch, or they're starting over constantly. If you find yourself constantly saying, I'm starting over, I'm starting from scratch again, I'm just starting over again, I give up, have to start over, right? If you're in that situation, I have my girlfriend's dog goes over here and making some noise. Lay down, Marty. Lay down. Lay down. All right, she's working it out. Anyway, point being that there's one key factor that makes the difference between a entrepreneur and a perpetually stuck at the beginning wantrepreneur. And what a wantrepreneur is a hobbyist. Okay, a wantrepreneur is interested in the topic of being an entrepreneur, but doesn't have the courage or the discipline to take action. Okay, an entrepreneur prioritizes taking action with a close second on education. Okay, and what I mean by that is, if you're stuck in learning mode and you are sure that you have to complete the course so you know everything so that you can do it right when it's time to implement, then you know that you are a procrastinating wantrepreneur, because you are not taking action on what you've learned. Okay, an entrepreneur goes through a course or goes through a book and goes through chapter 1 or video 1 or module 1, and then immediately implements what they learn so that they can have some real world experience and actually see what really works for them right now in real time, and is willing to fail most of the time in order to move forward and to learn. Okay, a course, it shares with you the information, but you have no experience. You have no real deep learning until you fail over and over and over again. Most entrepreneurs that I know, especially those who have been successful multiple times, will say, like, the difference between a winner and a loser in entrepreneurship is that winners keep taking shots. Okay, winners keep swinging and they keep trying, and every time they try, whether they nail it, whether they hit a home run, whether they get a 3-point shot, whether they crush it, or whether they bomb face first in the ground and knock out a few teeth, either way, there's an enormous amount of lessons there that will help you, to guide you to improve your skill and become better next time. So the difference really is an attitude about being willing to fail in order to learn, being willing to be publicly embarrassed about your failed attempts in order to learn. And if you're not willing to do that, that's okay, but don't fool yourself. Like, if you're not willing to take action, if you're not willing to go through the mental, emotional, financial embarrassment of when things don't work as an entrepreneur. Like, I mean, there's a reason most people don't own businesses, and there's a reason that most businesses fail. Like, it's hard and it's fraught with peril. And so, you know, success favors the bold. You know, it really is true. Like, 80% of your efforts will turn out to be wasted. You're looking for the 20% that make a difference. Classic 80-20 stuff. You know, you're going to get 80 no's for every 20 yeses. You're going to get 8 no's for every 2 yeses, like at your best, you know, and it's all about learning from that and moving forward, learning from that and moving forward, learning from that and moving forward. And so, if you're stuck in learning and you're not taking any action, then you have a choice, right? And the choice is stay where you are or commit to changing and to start taking action. Our community, our Get Shit Done community, this is the Get Shit Done show, episode 13, January 13th, 2005. And the Get Shit Done show was created in response to launching the Get Shit Done community. And we're a community of entrepreneurs that work together. We train you to get shit done. It's a productivity cult for entrepreneurs. And we use mental training. We use hypnosis. We use NLP and mind training to increase your focus, improve your memory, enhance your ability to bypass procrastination, to overcome obstacles, to blow through overwhelm, and to commit fully, internally and externally in the real world, to moving forward each and every day in the direction of your goals. And so however it is that you're doing that, we're going to encourage you to move forward, to commit to what you're going to do, to show up, to check in, and to make that happen. So if you want to be part of that kind of a group of people, then I would strongly encourage you to join us over at school.com, skool.com/get-shit-done/about is the place to go if that sounds exciting to you. So the name of the game is action. And so I've been teaching this first to myself, then to my team. I remember I came up with this years and years ago, which is 1 hour a day of education and 1 hour a day of execution or implementation. And so it's very simple. It doesn't matter what course you're going through. It could be a $7 course. It could be a $49 course. It could be a $500 home study program. It could be a $5,000 coaching program. It could be training involved in a $50,000 mastermind, right? Like all the way on up through the chain. It's cool. It could be reading a book. Okay. But whatever it is you're learning in order to improve yourself or improve your business, you read or you watch, you consume the content, usually reading, watching, or listening, some combination. You consume the content and you do that for an hour, ideally first business hour of the day, right? And this is attentive time. This isn't while you're driving. This isn't while you're making breakfast and taking a shower. This is where you're actually sitting down and studying, like schoolwork. You're studying, right? You're learning the material, and then your hour ends, and your next hour you spend executing as quickly as humanly possible what you just learned. Okay? Educate, implement, or educate, execute, right? So hour of education, hour of execution. And that's how you start your day, right? So if you're having a hard time moving forward and implementing your cryptocurrency course, your course on how to do handstands, your hypnosis course, if you're having a hard time implementing your Facebook ads marketing system, your email marketing course, your webinar course, if you're having a hard time, like there are a million different courses that you can buy. And as we all know, if you're having a hard time implementing those things, then the key, and you're procrastinating on implementing them, the key is to stop worrying about your procrastination habit. Okay. Stop worrying about your quote unquote negative characteristics. We all have them, and they're not actually negative. They're part of the human condition. They're there for a reason. And start focusing on what you can do in order to immediately move forward. So whatever that course or program is that you invested in, go through it, hour a day of education, hour a day of execution, right? And generally speaking, the more expensive the course is, the more seriously you'll take it. So as you move forward in courses and training programs, don't stay stuck like buying all the cheap stuff and expecting it to really make the biggest difference, because the biggest difference is when you spend $49 on something, you have $49 of investment. Like that, you can flush that down the toilet and be okay and not freak out. But if you spend $497 on something or $4,997 on something, you're going to go through a lot more of that training and you're going to have a tendency to take much more action on it. And so what I'm sharing with you here is train yourself to take the action regardless of the price point. Treat your $49 course like a $5,000 coaching program, right? Take action on it every day, relentlessly, because if you want to build a business, and most of our get shit done people are entrepreneurs, like if you're trying to build your business, if you're trying to become more productive with you or to get your team more productive, then really what's holding you back, right? What's actually holding you back here? If you're trying to get more productive, we want to focus on doing the right tasks every day that will help to move you forward, the ones that you can see that are available to you, that are right in front of you. And so if you're going through a course, some sort of a marketing or business development or business growth course, the key is put it into action now. So while you're reading, take some notes on your action items, your to-do list items, and immediately an hour later, knock those out. And so sometimes your education might be a little shorter. Sometimes your work section might be a little longer, but that's really the name of the game. And so that execution time that we're talking about, to circle it back, that's a huge part of what we focus on with our work parties. I mentioned earlier during the session, let's see, we have a comment here. Oh, we got Liz Fuller. Liz says, I have two clients like that. One is an attorney who keeps her license and has no practice. The other wants to leave a corporate job, but cannot something risk. He is something, the gold. My fear has made me stuck in putting my business online. I'm not quite sure where you're going with that, Liz. It kind of made sense, but if you could double check your comment, just I'm not quite sure where you're going with that. So yeah, if you want to revise that, please feel free. So work parties. So what we do with work parties is we have a very, very short positive focus and what I'm getting done today, right? And then we're all on Zoom together. And then we proceed to either mute ourselves out or turn our video off and work for 45 minutes on those to-do list items that we just said we were going to do. Now, here's the kicker to work parties. Okay, number one is you're showing up at a specific time. You're not late. Number two is you're showing up consistently. Number three is there are one or more people on the work party waiting for you to show up. You're expected to be there. It's not optional. It's required. And so when you do work parties, it's time that you're setting aside to do the most important tasks, the most needle moving tasks in your business that will make the biggest possible difference that you can currently see to grow your business and move it in the direction of your goals, whatever you're focused on. In particular, they're the things that you know you need to do that you're procrastinating on, that you're avoiding. They might even be the things that you're avoiding thinking about entirely, and they could be total blind spots for you. You might be unaware of them right now, but you can't really do them if you're unaware. So that's one of the beautiful parts about having a community. You can ask questions, and the community can share with you what your blind spots are, like where you're missing the boat, right? So the whole idea here is that we get together on a regular basis and we do the most important work, the most needle moving work in our business or possibly our life that will really make the biggest difference that we can see right now, right? This is not just stuff that we're procrastinating on. This is needle moving stuff. So don't fall into the trap of, oh, I'm just doing something that would make me feel good. That would be nice to have. We're not talking about nice to have. We're talking about doing the things that will actually bring home the bacon, like doing the things that will really make the difference, that are probably going to be a huge struggle for you, right? The most difficult things that will move the needle for your business in the direction of your goals. The issue here is that if you don't have clear goals, then where the heck are you headed? So that's another critical element of the get shit done process, is setting great goals. I call them magic goals. How do you set big, compelling, exciting, achievable goals that will motivate you, that will motivate those around you to want to help you, and that are big enough to make a huge difference, but within the realm of believability, that you truly believe that you're capable of achieving it, right? And so that's kind of the sweet spot that we're looking for. So you want to have a big goal. You want to have some level of accountability, right? And so that's where the work parties come in. And work parties are execution time. They're not education time. They're get shit done time. So we have one of those coming up in 2 hours. So if you want to join our Get Shit Done community and jump in on our weekly work party, you can do so at school.com/get/shit/done/about. And we're going to be on there cranking from noon to 1 Eastern on the work party. So you can get in there on a free trial for 7 days, and you get a whole bunch of cool stuff on the way in. So if that sounds like your kind of crowd and your kind of crew, then please join us. We would love to have you. If you guys have questions about Get Shit Done, about the process, about the system, about what the Get Shit Done show is all about, please let me know. If you're liking the show so far, please share with us. What are you enjoying? What are you getting out of the show so far? Why are you tuning in? How is it helpful to you? Please let me know. The Get Shit Done. So several years ago, I had the I was like, I wonder if getshitdone.com is available. And I bought it at a very reasonable price. It was several $1,000s, but it was not bananas level expensive. And at the time, I think I had already created the Get Shit Done session, because I was creating a lot of one-off hypnosis sessions at the time. And I sell the individual hypnosis sessions for $99, and then people join our membership program and often buy some of our other upsells and so on. And so what I had done a lot of hypnosis sessions focused on money mindset exclusively, because my people love money mindset stuff. And so I've created a lot of money mindset programs, and addressing various issues around money mindset, both individual sessions and larger, like coaching programs and home study programs. And so what we ended up doing was I released all these different sessions, and I was getting kind of tired of just doing money mindset stuff. And so I did the Overcome Procrastination session, and it crushed it. It did really well. I was like, oh, let me do the Get Shit Done session. That's a little edgy. And it did really well. And because I don't normally swear in my hypnosis sessions or my sales material or anything like that. And so, and then I was like, I wonder if getshitdone.com is available. And it was. And so I bought it. But that was quite a few years ago. And I've wanted to really grow the brand and do something cool with it, but I didn't have crystal clarity on what I was going to do, or exactly what the right move was. And in the meantime, we've sold thousands and thousands of copies of the Get Shit Done session. So I know people like the idea, right? And it's kind of a concept that already exists in the cultural consciousness. It's like a brand that everybody already knows. And so I thought that was cool. And so the idea is that we're, let's see. Liz says, sorry for the typos. My corporate client wants the gold-plated guarantee. Yeah, I would fire the corporate client. There's no gold-plated guarantee. Liz says, I love the work group focus and obligation to achieve. I have more commitment to the success of others and need to have it be specific commitment on my goals and success. Exactly. That's the whole idea, right? Is that some people are like, oh, I'll do everybody else's stuff before I do my own. Well, that's fine. Or you can just schedule it in together and do your stuff while they do their stuff and be mutually supportive, right? You don't need to have it just be one way or the other. That's an excuse. It's a cop out, right? So don't fall into that trap. So where was I? Yeah. So people love get shit done. And I have seen the challenges in the last several years of email marketing. I mean, email marketing is becoming tougher and tougher to consistently get emails delivered, get them into the inbox, get them opened, get them clicked, have them drive revenue. It still is an outrageous channel. You absolutely should get amazing at email marketing and use it and master it. However, at the same time, it's not as easily profitable as it used to be. It's much more sophisticated. It's more complex. A lot more details you need to know and learn in order to get things up and running and working properly. And scalable at all. And so what I discovered was that it seemed to me that everyone's attention span was reducing, and email open and click through rates are low. You have to super prune your list in order to keep it super clean, which means free opt-in lists are less valuable unless they're super new, super recent, aka engaged. And so it wasn't computing for me. And I was looking for, where are people paying more attention? Where are they more connected? And I think where people are more connected is in real connections, real friendships, and real relationships. Specifically, what that means is, in a group, it means community. And the term online community is thrown around, but the closer you can get to a real connection with a real group of people who cares whether or not you succeed, and move forward, and you're part of the group, and we want you to be there, and you want to be there, and you want to be supportive and have the support. That's what Get Shit Done's all about. And so that's why we decided to start a community, and that's why we're using school as our platform to do it. So if that sounds like the kind of people you want to hang out with and get shit done with, please join us at school.com/get-shit-done/about. You can join the free trial there, and we would love to see you on the work party here later today. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. I think I'm going to keep it pretty short and sweet today. That was the long and short of it. Is the difference between a wantrepreneur and an entrepreneur is entrepreneurs take action as a priority, and wantrepreneurs either don't get educated or at all, or take their education and use that as a procrastination mechanism in order to not take the action and not risk the inevitable failure you will have on your way to success when you're trying something new outside of your comfort zone. So my recommendation is don't be a wantrepreneur. Take action. We'll help you. If you don't need the help, then cool. If you've got this covered, then I'm in full support. But if you need some help, then but here's the thing: Get Shit Done is not for excuse makers. Okay, it's not for people that are going to blame circumstances and situations outside of themselves for their crappy life. It's not for people that are going to not show up. It's not for people, it's for people who want to practice getting better at committing to becoming a better entrepreneur and doing it every single day. Sounds like you? Please join us. We'd love to have you as part of the party. All right, guys, this is Tellman. I hope you have a great day. It's also my birthday week. My birthday is January 18th. Maybe we'll do something to celebrate. We'll see. All right. Thank you, everybody. You know what time it is? It's time to get shit done. I hope to see you on the inside. Over and out. Bye-bye.